Indiana Fever beat the Connecticut Sun. That's not really the story here. They won 85-77. That's not the story here, man. Look, I'm pissed. I'm pissed, bro. Yo, these refs are trash, bro. Caitlin Clark done got hurt again. The groin again, bro. Like, oh my God. Man, I'm so tired of it. Ugh.
Hold up, wait a minute. Caitlin Clark just got roughed up again. And trust me, the internet is absolutely losing its mind. Was that a foul or an actual wrestling move? Did the refs forget their whistles at home? Either way, it looks like All-Star Weekend might have just lost its main event sparkle. Stick around because we're breaking down what went down, who's dropping the ball, and why Angel Reese is probably somewhere hitting that laughing emoji right now.
Stephanie White, congratulations. Amber Cox, way to go. Kelly Krauskopf, you did it, girl. You really did it. Way to rush Caitlin Clark back from injury time after time after time after time. To the point where she's tearing and crying on the court because she felt something in her groin. You three ladies couldn't manage a kid's lemonade stand.
The WNBA is currently one bad ankle twist away from an absolute disaster. Everyone treats these injuries like minor bumps in the road, right up until the literal face of the league is hobbling off the court like she just stepped on a rogue Lego brick during the national anthem. And suddenly, every single person who was just hyping up the physicality of the game is now clutching their pearls, pretending they didn't just endorse a gladiator fight disguised as basketball.
Well, this game had a little bit of everything. But if I had one word to describe all of it, it would be painful. All right? Painful. And this was painful. In case you guys did not notice, because Caitlin Clark was struggling at times, especially with her shot. Now, she was grabbing rebounds, getting assists when Stephanie White wasn't pulling her out of the game. I mean, she's never going to get a rhythm if she keeps getting nonsense.
Let's be real. Caitlin Clark isn't just bringing in fans. She is the fan base. She's the ratings, the merch, the storylines, the drama, the whole damn popcorn machine, and the refund policy rolled into one neat package. So when she tweaks a knee, sprains a wrist, or gets shoved into the bleachers while a referee polishes their imaginary whistle, the entire league should be panicking. Instead of guarding this billion-dollar asset like she's Fort Knox, they're letting her get ragdolled out there like it's WWE SmackDown and she forgot her steel chair.
Groin. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on anymore, guys.
Looks like she's in pain after that pass.
Bro, she looked like, bro, she was in tears. She was in tears, y'all. Like in tears. Like it's like she knows that this is a real serious thing, man. This sucks.
This is getting ridiculous. Here we are again. Another injury, another sideline stint, another collective sigh from every casual fan who just barely learned what the Indiana Fever even is. Seriously, this isn't just about a couple of bruises. This is about a league that got handed a freaking gold mine and decided to show up with a tiny plastic shovel. Caitlin Clark should not be out there playing 38 minutes a night like it's some kind of hostage negotiation.
Caitlin Clark re-injures her groin. I really do feel sorry for this kid, man, because she didn't put all of this pressure on her. Y'all did. You know, the shit that I don't like is you had a lot of content creators talking about, oh, I don't think she's injured. I don't know what's wrong with her because she's definitely not injured. Because obviously they don't know what it's like to have a groin injury. And I'm not going to go into detail of what it's like as a ball player to have a groin injury. I already made a video on that. You should go check it out. And I was afraid that this was going to happen. That injury probably started off being right between a grade 1 and a grade 2.
She should be pampered, carefully managed, wrapped in industrial-grade bubble wrap between quarters, and probably escorted by a literal Secret Service detail. Instead, she's out there playing defense against elbows, flying knees, and officiating that feels like it's from the Mesozoic era. And honestly, the idea of her sitting out the rest of the season isn't a tantrum or an overreaction. It might just be the smartest business move she could possibly make. Because if the WNBA wants to know what life looks like without its crown jewel, it's about to get a front row seat seat to silence, empty arenas, and a ratings chart doing a dramatic nosedive. If Clark hits the bench, so do the viewers, the buzz, the viral moments, the jersey sales, and that all-star sparkle. You might as well rename the league What Could Have Been. This isn't about manufactured drama, it's about undeniable value. And that kind of value shouldn't be scrambling for loose balls while someone's swinging an elbow like they're swatting a fly. The commissioner has been giving us her best motivational poster impression, droning on about growth and empowerment, while the actual product is hemorrhaging star power faster than a waterbed in a cactus store. If protecting the league's most vital player is just an afterthought, maybe the league itself needs to sit out the rest of the season and have a long, hard think about its life choices.
Clark has an injury in the preseason. You rush her back to put on a show in Iowa. Oh, great. Good job. You sit her the rest of the preseason. She plays in the regular season. She injures her quad again, re-injures her quad again. You guys sit her. DeWanna Bonner takes your money and runs. You guys are panicking. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Let's bring Caitlin Clark back, quick from injury, again. Oh, great job. Stephanie White in her brilliance. Oh, there's only 40 seconds left in the Seattle Store game. Sweet. Caitlin, get in there. Oh, now we injure our groin. Oh, great job. You guys are really crushing it this year.
And don't even get me started on the officiating. These referees are letting defenders treat Caitlin Clark like they're auditioning for the NFL. One game she's getting hip-checked into the Gatorade cooler, the next she's triple-teamed by players who aren't even in the frame, all while the whistle is apparently taking a nap. They call it physical defense, but if they were any more hands-on, they'd owe her rent. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever is burning her minutes like a factory-time clock. They want to win so badly they forgot why anyone was watching in the first place. And no, it's not for the strategy, it's because Clark makes basketball look like pure magic with a mean streak. The real pain here isn't just a sore ankle or a bruised hip, it's exhaustion, emotional, physical, and spiritual, carrying an entire league on your back while simultaneously getting blamed for everything wrong with it. That's the most thankless job in sports.
If Stephanie White keeps doing this to Caitlin Clark, she's going to ask for a trade. Eventually. There's no way around it. You can tell she's unhappy. It's not, whatever it is Stephanie White is doing is not working for Caitlin Clark. But at this point, when I say the word painful, this is where we're going to start. This is potentially a disaster for the city of Indianapolis, the Indiana Fever. They're hosting the All-Star game. We just found out Caitlin Clark was going to be in the three-point contest. And this is her right here. You can see her. Let me turn this down. She's grabbing that groin, folks.
If she drops 30 points, she's selfish. If she passes, she's scared. If she gets knocked to the floor, she's soft. If she stands up and fights back, suddenly she's arrogant. The goalposts move every single game, yet she's still expected to sink every shot. And here's the kicker. She did it anyway. She showed up, sold out arenas, plastered headlines, ate elbows, and somehow kept smiling for the cameras. All the while, her teammates were fumbling easy layups, the refs were asleep at the wheel, and the league was busy tweeting inspirational quotes instead of actually fixing the damn rules. Caitlin Clark is the show. You can practically smell the panic wafting from the PR offices right now. All-Star Weekend just lost its glitter. Merch sales stalled. Highlights. Suddenly we're back to Team X defeats Team Y in a solid defensive battle. Nobody is retweeting that. The buzz around Clark wasn't just noise, it was momentum. And now without her, the league looks like it's circling a very quiet drain.
I just want to say the refereeing in the WNBA has to be fixed. This is something that has been a problem since Caitlin stepped in the league, and I already know it's been a problem before she got to the league. But the league is clearly shown time and time again that they are not ready for Caitlin Clark's stardom. They're not ready for the crowd she brings. They're not ready for the revenue she brings. This girl is supposed to be at a CBA meeting in about 2 days. And the fact that she gets injured and 40 seconds to go in a meaningless game against a bottom-feeding Connecticut Sun team, like, it gets to a point where it's like somebody has to step in.
There's something truly tragic, almost poetic about it. The WNBA desperately wanted growth, and they got it, all wrapped up in one phenomenal person. But instead of building around her, protecting her, and showcasing her unique brilliance, they let her get absolutely battered while whispering empty platitudes about league balance. Sorry, but nobody is tuning in to watch balance. They're tuning in to witness greatness. And if that greatness is parked at home with an ice pack, then what's the point? The truth is, this was a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and the league fumbled it like a scorching hot potato. Caitlin Clark didn't need the WNBA. The WNBA needed Caitlin. Let her rest, let her heal, and let the league truly feel the gut-wrenching weight of losing its only spark. Maybe then, the next time they're gifted a star, they'll remember that stars burn out when you treat them like afterthoughts. Maybe then they'll reconsider feeding their golden goose to the wolves every single night, all for the sake of a quick fourth quarter highlight. Until then, we'll all be stuck watching reruns.
I want Caitlin Clark to play. You want Caitlin Clark to play. Everybody wants Caitlin Clark to play. And while she was out, we were all crying for Caitlin Clark to come back. We are fans of basketball, and fans of basketball like to see good players play basketball. So obviously, we all wanted her to be back because the Fever are better when she's out there. Today, she was plus 21 on the court. When Erin McDonald was in place of Caitlin Clark, she was -9. Caitlin Clark had the best plus minus on the court, even while she shot it bad from the field. Now, she did show up in that fourth quarter, and she was the reason why the Fever were able to get the win. They were looking terrible for the first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter where Caitlin Clark wasn't in the game, and then she comes in and they look 10 times.
Because at some point, even the brightest light flickers when the room actively refuses to be lit. Caitlin Clark stepped into the WNBA with a spotlight the size of the moon, and all they handed her was a broken mic and a rickety folding chair. Her love for the game has never been in question. She breathes it, lives it, probably dreams in pick and rolls, but somewhere between the endless hype and the relentless hip checks, she realized something bone deep and soul-crushingly disappointing. Love isn't enough when the product you're asked to save is actively trying to drown you. That level of exhaustion, where even lacing up your sneakers feels like a form of unpaid emotional labor, is visible. You can see it in her face during those sideline moments. The look isn't focused, it's numb. The stare isn't locked in, it's completely checked out. She's realizing in real time that this thing she's dedicated her life to is fundamentally broken, leaking relevance like a punctured lifeboat, and no matter how many SportsCenter clips or half-court swishes she delivers, it won't fix a foundation built on dust and misplaced hope.
Brutal. That's all you can say, and the look on Caitlin Clark's face said it all. After she clearly tweaked her groin in the Fever win over the Connecticut Sun in what has been an injury-riddled season for Clark, and whether it was pain or frustration or a combination of both, you could see it weighing on her. Now, she had snapped at a referee earlier. She had held her head down in the midst of her shooting slump, so maybe some of this is just all of that coming to a head, especially knowing that All-Star Weekend is coming up from Indianapolis.
She's not just playing defense against opposing guards. She's defending herself against a system that pretends it didn't just shove her into a wood chipper and call it an opportunity. The league wanted a messiah, and when they got one, they strapped her to the front of the train and expected her to steer it with her face. It's not just unfair, it's a cruel slow-motion demolition, and now even the casual fans can see it. She knows it too. She's not delusional. She sees the writing on the wall, the empty seats that only fill up when her name is on the marquee. She's doing interviews with a smile that looks like it's been photoshopped onto her soul, and her press conferences feel like hostage letters written in post-game sweat. She's trying, you can tell she's still trying, but what do you do when the very thing you love becomes the thing that drains you? When your passion morphs into performance art for a crowd that seems to crave more bruises than brilliance?
And Clark's brother had to step out himself and post, make no mistake about this, this is on the record. This was a post and delete, of course, but the fact that her brother, and you know, when you're a sibling of a star, especially like Caitlin Clark or any professional athlete, you're not supposed to go on the internet and post things like this. But because Colin, do you know how much it took for Colin to put all that to the side and say, you know what, I don't care, they're gonna hear about this, because Caitlin will never go out and say this. It's on the record. She's getting hacked. She's getting abused. People are landing in her foul space. Aaliyah Boston got punched.
She is, above all, a competitor. That's what truly stings. She was built for battles. Her entire career has been a war against doubt, against ceilings, against every gatekeeper who swore women's sports couldn't sell. And she won over and over again. But you can only fight so many unwinnable battles before even the fiercest warrior starts to wonder if the fight is worth it. And that's what we're witnessing now. Not a loss of skill, but a profound loss of faith. Not in herself, but in the idea that any of this could ever truly change. Because this isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about being asked to carry a legacy you didn't break, to rebuild a system you didn't ruin, and to somehow smile through the wreckage while constantly getting elbowed in the ribs. She was never going to say it out loud. She's too classy, too composed, too expertly trained in the ancient art of media-safe answers.
To see her injured, but if she's not ready, don't play her, because this is not just Caitlin Clark right now and the people unsatisfied with watching the WNBA without her right now. This is about the future of this league. It is total incompetence, the highest level of incompetence, to put Caitlin Clark out there and have her play against the dirty refs and the dirty players, both of them, because the players are grabbing her and the refs won't call it. They are playing very hard basketball against Caitlin Clark. It is not wise to have her play if she's not 100%. And I was really irritated in a live watch party today about the minutes we've been playing Caitlin Clark. I heard she was on a minutes restriction. They want to keep her under 30 minutes, right? But why would you play her in 4-minute stretches? Why play her 4 minutes and then sit her for 5 minutes and then play her for 4 minutes and then...
But her demeanor is absolutely screaming it now. She looks like someone watching the ceiling close in, like someone desperately trying to hold a family together while everyone else bickers pointlessly over dinner. And for what? So some executive can slap her face on a billboard and pretend that counts as real progress. It's soul-crushing to watch. Not because she's failing, but precisely because she isn't. She's thriving by every measurable metric, and yet, somehow, it's still not enough to fix the deep-seated rot beneath her sneakers. That's the true tragedy. Watching someone so clearly built for greatness being dragged into mediocrity by an ecosystem that can't decide if it wants to elevate her or just erase her. She should be celebrated. Instead, she's being forced to answer for decades of neglect, all while pretending she's not one bad screen away from another minor injury and a very public breakdown. This isn't how it was supposed to go. The Titan Caitlin Clark wasn't supposed to feel defeated. She was supposed to defeat. That's her superpower. That's what made the world fall head over heels for her game.
But nonetheless, just a rough sight to see, especially, Caitlin Clark struggles shooting and the Fever still win the game. Because of her impact on the game, her gravity on the game. She closed it out. She draws the attention way beyond the three-point line, which sets up her teammates. But she has not been right all season, and that sight is not a good one for her, for the Fever, or of course, for anyone around the WNBA, because it's difficult to see Clark holding back tears in that moment.
But here we are, watching her carry a team, an entire franchise, and an entire league, all while still being told she's not doing enough, still being pushed, still being doubted, still being targeted as if her very existence is the problem instead of the long overdue solution. And if she decides to walk away or even just step back, can anyone in their right mind really blame her? Not when the weight has become so obviously unbearable, not when she's given absolutely everything she has, and the return on investment has been a highlight reel of bruises and deafening silence from the very people paid to protect her. There's no joy in watching someone so profoundly gifted begin to question the gift itself. No satisfaction in seeing a dream turn sour. But maybe, just maybe, this is the earth-shattering wake-up call the league desperately needs. Because if Caitlin Clark, the once-in-a-lifetime unicorn of the sport, can't stay inspired, what does that say about the actual state of the game? It says it all, and she's been saying it without uttering a single word.